Hello, my friends. The author is a famous speaker. 好故事啊，好玩你哦。The author is a famous speaker. 好故事啊，好玩你哦。
But don't worry, we will not use difficult words. I will not speak fast, and I will not rush. We will learn slowly. We will learn clearly, and we will learn together.
This book is not just about business. It is about motivation, meaning, and why you do what you do.
Yes, it is very important for learning English. Many people start learning English with excitement.
They buy books. They download apps.
That's an interesting point, but how does that apply to the final illustration? That's an interesting point, but how does that apply to the final illustration?
Because they start with what? Units once. What book should I use? What app is best? How about for editing photos? Or maybe even making music? What accent should I learn? Why learn? But they forget said something very important. They forget why. Why do you want to speak English? Why wanting English? Why does it matter to you? Why is it you? And you? Why why is it part of your life?
So this book will help us answer these questions slowly, clearly, and with lots of examples. You can listen, you can pause, you can shadow, you can think.
Now take a breath.
Sit comfortably, and let's begin.
All right, that's Ranger Buying Practice. All right, let me ask you a simple question. Why do you wake up in the morning? Why in the morning? Not what do you do? Not where do you go, but why? And for some people, this is a difficult question. They say, I don't know, or they say, because I have to. The author says something very interesting. He says that people do not buy what you do. He says that you should not start with what you do. You should start with why you do what you want to do, what you want to do. This idea is the heart of the book. Oh. He calls it the golden circle. And imagine three circles. The first circle in the center is WHYY. The second circle is how. The third circle is what. They start with what. They start with what. What materials they want to use, what audio programs they want to listen to. Then they talk about how. And then I use this method. I study every day. I watch videos, but very few people start with why. Why do I want to speak English? Why does it matter to me? Let me give you a clear example. En de laat race bolts hier ugan vows. Let me give you a clear example. En de laat race bolts hier ugan vows. Many learners say, I want to learn English because I need it.
This is not a strong why. Why?
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm excited to share some new techniques with you today. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm excited to share some new techniques with you today. I want to learn because I want to speak confidently when I travel. I want to learn English because I want a better job. I want to learn English because I want to understand movies without subtitles. I want to learn English because I want to feel proud of myself. You do not quit easily. You do not quit easily. Cường Day, you do not stop up after one bad day. You do not stop when you feel tired because your why pulls you forward. The author says that our brain works in a special way. The part of the brain that understands why is emotional. It is about feelings. It is about trust. It is about belief. The part of the brain that understands what is logical. It is about facts. It is about lists. It is about information. To get this high contrast look, we utilize fine line art and these screen tone patterns for shading. It's essential for the manga aesthetic. To get this high contrast look, we utilize fine line art and these screen tone patterns for shading. It's essential for the manga aesthetic. You can know many words, but if you don't feel connected to English, you will stop. And this is why many learners say, I know English, but I can't speak. They learned the what, but they forgot the why. Now, let me tell you a short story. Imagine two students. Student A studies English every day, but he feels stressed. He feels forced. He feels tired. Why? Because his why is weak. He says, I study English because my teacher told me to. I study English because I must pass an exam. Now, student B, she studies English every day too, but she smiles.
She enjoys it. Why? Because her why is clear. Her reason is clear.
She says, I study English because I want to talk to people from other countries. Impropromis. I study English because I want to change my life.
Nou, de also hamig na binabarap at siya for ilok asburn amifras. Now, the author also talks about leaders. Now, the also hamig na binabarap at siya for ilok asburn amifras. Now, the author also talks about leaders.
Great leaders don't say, here is what we do.
This is also true for teachers. Arawan and wa'antopais. This is also true for teachers. Arawan and wa'antopais.
Chance. If I say in this podcast we'll learn vocabulary and grammar, that is what? But if I say in this podcast I want to help you feel calm, confident, and proud when you speak English.
Now, let's make this more personal.
I want you to pause for a moment. Ask yourself slowly, why do I want to learn English? Not a short answer, not a fast answer, a real answer. Maybe your why is about freedom.
Maybe you want to feel independent, not controlled.
And maybe your why is about confidence. You want to believe in yourself.
And maybe your why is about connection. You want to talk to others, you want to share, and you want to understand.
So your why does not need to be big. It just needs to be true.
In English Unleashed, we don't chase speed. We don't chase perfection. We chase meaning.
Because when learning has meaning, it lasts. It lasts.
Right now, the author says something very simple, but very powerful.
This is about business, but it is also related to learning. People don't buy what you do, they buy why do it. And this sentence is not just about business. It is about human behavior. It is about trust, and it is about belief.
Operating smart for honest team. It is very important for language learning.
Okay? Here is a clear example. If you say, I learn English to improve my vocabulary, that is a fact, but it does not touch your heart. If you say, I learn English because I don't want to feel small when I travel, or I learn English because I want to express my ideas clearly, or I learn English because I want my voice to be heard, that creates emotion. Emotion creates action.
And this is why motivation comes and goes for many learners. They start with facts. They forget feelings.
Okay, now let's talk about language identity. When it didn't... Language identity means how you see yourself in a language. Many learners say, I'm bad at English, I'm shy in English, I'm not a language person. This is not grammar. This is belief, and beliefs are powerful.
If you believe English is not for you, your brain will protect you from pain.
It'll say, don't speak, don't try, stay quiet.
But if you change the belief, the behavior changes too.
Try this instead. I am learning English. I am allowed to make mistakes. My English is growing.
These sentences are simple, but they touch your why. They connect English to growth, not danger. Now, the author explains that great leaders create followers who believe, and you need to become a leader for yourself. You lead your own learning. You don't say, I have to study English. You say, I choose to study English because it matters to me. That small change is huge. The word have to feels heavy. The word choose to feels powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's slow down and think. Let's reflect. Think about this question. When I learn English, do I feel pushed or pulled? Pushed here means you are pressured. Pulled means you have a purpose. And if you feel pushed, your why is unclear, and that is okay. This podcast exists for that reason in English Unleashed. We don't shout at you, we don't rush you, we remind you why you started. Because when you remember your why, you don't need motivation videos, you don't need discipline tricks, you just keep going. All right, now I want to talk about clarity. The author says something that may surprise you. He says that clarity is more important than intelligence, than talent. This means something very simple. People don't follow ideas because they are smart. People follow ideas because they are clear. And this is very important for English learners. Many learners think I need difficult words to sound smart. I need long sentences to sound advanced. But this is not true. Clear English is strong English. Simple English is powerful English. Let me explain. Imagine two people speaking English. Person A says, due to the fact that I was unable to attend the previously scheduled meeting, I would like to express my sincere apologies.
Person B says, I'm sorry I couldn't come to the meeting.
Which one feels clear? Which one feels more human, not generated by AI?
Most people prefer person B, not because it is perfect, but because it is clear, it is human. So the author explains that when the why is clear, the how and the what become simple. Confusion does not come from lack of knowledge. Confusion comes from lack of clarity. This is exactly what happens in language learning. Many learners feel confused because they try to learn everything at the same time. Grammar rules, idioms, phrasal verbs, accents, their mind becomes noisy. When there is noise, learning stops. Clarity means knowing what matters now. For example, at a 2 level, what matters most? Not perfect grammar, not rare words. What matters is being understood. And if people understand you, communication is successful. Now, the author gives an important idea. He says that great communicators are not those who say the most, they are those who say the clearest thing. This is a very good lesson for speaking English. You don't need to say a lot. You need to say what matters. Let me give you an English learning example. Instead of saying, I am in the process of attempting to improve my English speaking abilities, you can say, I'm learning to speak English better. Same meaning, clearer message. Clear messages feel honest. They feel confident, and confidence is not about speak. Confidence is about calm. Now let's talk about something called consistency of message. The author says that when your why is clear, your message stays the same. You don't change your story every day. This is important for English learners too. Many learners change methods all the time. 1 week grammar, next week vocabulary, next week pronunciation, then nothing. Why does this happen? Because there is no clear why. And when your why is clear, you don't jump all the time. You say, my goal is to speak English calmly in daily life. So you choose activities that support that. Listening, shadowing, simple speaking practice, not everything, just what supports your why. This reduces stress, and less stress means better learning. All right, and that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of English Unleashed. I'm Tom, and until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep believing yourself. Bye for now.